First game up, Giants at the Eagles, and yes, sir, two teams truly impressed us this week of kind of erasing their past performances against division rivals. The first one, Giants at the Eagles, Eagles at the Giants. What was it, 2-3 weeks ago? Eagles couldn't do anything offensively, lost the game, and kind of let us down a little bit. But then they just kind of erased that from our memory and truly got it done this meeting against the Giants. Eagles get the win 34-10. Man, oh man, the Eagles got off to a little bit of a slow start. They only put up 3 points in the first half, folks, so a little concerning, but that second half, they turned it on. 17 points in the third quarter, 14 points in the fourth quarter. It finally got going, so we still feel very confident about this Eagles team, and we are still leaving this Eagles team in the Super Bowl contender category. This is an updated rolling list for the final kind of 3 weeks of the season. We'll be adding to this list as we go through the show and moving some teams around in different categories throughout the show as well. But we can keep the Eagles as Super Bowl contenders. And look at this, folks. The Eagles are now the 7th seed in the NFC playoffs. And that's exactly what we wanted to happen yesterday on our pregame show. We talked about the scenarios of how it could happen. And one of those scenarios happened. And now the Eagles are the 7th seed. And the Dolphins are trying to get that 7th seed as well in the AFC. So shout out to the Eagles for getting the win, staying the course. Nick Sirianni, running game, all that, truly getting it done throughout the entirety of the game. Defense stepping up. They made Jake Fromm look so gosh dang garbage that they had to resort back to Mike Glennon. The Giants were good with going with Jake Fromm to see what they could get from him this week, but mid-game he was playing so gosh dang bad because the Eagles defense was good that they're like, just go back to Mike Glennon. The season's lost anyway. Go back to the Mike Glennon, who we know we're not going to keep, because now we definitely know we're not keeping Jake Fromm either. So, man, oh, man. And, that's unfortunate because we wanted to see what Jake Fromm could do. We've been kind of, not really clamoring, but we've been really kind of wanting to see what we could get from Jake Fromm because we know what we got from Mike Glennon already. Nothing great, nothing consistent, no convincing, consistent wins against relative or relevant opponents. So, just an overall unfortunate day from Jake Fromm. Let's start with him since we're talking about how garbage he was. Jake Fromm went 6 of 17. 6 of 17 for 35% completion percentage. Jeez, that is absolutely garbage. 25 yards on 6 throws. I mean, dink and dunk. I mean, you look up dink and dunk in the dictionary, folks. It's Jake Fromm's picture from this game. Unfortunate. No touchdown, and he threw a pick. His pick came in the start of the second half, the first drive out of halftime, when the game is tied 3-3 and you can try and take the lead and put the pressure on the Eagles. Jake Fromm says no thank you and throws an interception. That kicks off the scoring for the Eagles. They score a touchdown out that interception. They score a field goal off the next drive. They score a touchdown off the next drive. They score a touchdown off the next drive. They throw the Giants throw a pick 6 on the next drive, and then the final drive is just a turnover on downs because the game is over. The Eagles go for it on 4th and 1. Unfortunately, they don't get it, but this is kind of good by Nick Sirianni. Game over. You're up 34-10. Just try and do something. This Eagles team, they haven't been as kind of aggressive as some of these other coaches in the league of just going for it on every single 4th down in their territory, opponent's territory. It doesn't matter. They're going for it on 4th down. So Nick Sirianni getting his beak wet a little bit here on 4th downs. And this could, help them out as they approach the playoffs. They could kind of go back to this. All right, what went wrong on this 4th and 1? We have some nice experience with it. Can we kind of fine-tune the play? Was it the play? Was it the execution? All that. But either way, they got some nice things on film here. So overall, we are still loving what we're seeing from the Eagles. All right, but back to the Giants and Jake Fromm being absolutely bad. So they bench him for Mike Glennon, and Mike Glennon doesn't do anything better because we've seen Mike Glennon over the last 3 weeks, and once again, it was nothing good. That's why we wanted to see what we could get from Jake Fromm because, starting Mike Glennon, we were expecting to lose. Starting Jake Fromm, yeah, we're still expecting to lose, but we could win because we don't know what his ceiling is. But now we know what his ceiling is, and his ceiling is basically the floor, folks. I mean, it's the same. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference between that man's floor and ceiling. All right, so Mike Glennon, 17 of 27 trash. He threw. Is that 62%? Is that right? 17 of 27 is 62%. Is that right? That does not look right. That you round that up to 63%. Man, oh man, that number does not look right. But I'm not gonna, disagree with the calculator. So 63% from Mike Glennon, which is pretty good. I'll give him pretty good, but the yards with the completions, this is where it's not good. 93 yards on 17 completions. Dink and dunk. Jake Fromm and Mike Glennon are both in the dictionary of dink and dunk right next to each other. Mike Glennon, 1 touchdown. He threw an interception as well, and his interception was a little bit worse because it was a pick six, but either way, it's just trash on trash. Hat on a hat, trash on trash, same thing. All right, Saquon Barkley, and this is kind of why we had to take down his canvas this week hang up the Dolphins for today's show. Saquon Barkley, 15 rushes for only 32 yards, so we can't even count on the running game. And once again, you can't count on the passing game, so they're just going to shut down the run, obviously, and they shut down the run, obviously. 2.1 yards a carry, that is shutting down the run, folks. Devontae Booker, 6 rushes, 27 yards. Jake Fromm took off 3 times for 12 yards. That was the best thing he did all game long, run the ball. Mike Glennon took off 2 times for 11 yards. Once again, kind of the best thing that these quarterbacks do is run the ball, and they don't do it well, so that tells you everything you need to know about them. All right, who are these quarterbacks trying to get the ball to? Kadarius Toney, leading receiver, and this is good. Kadarius Toney's been out for the last 4 or 5 weeks here. Rookie, really great gadget, kind of speedster, little bit of a Tyreek Hill-esque type of player. So we really could, any team could really use this man, and the Giants have been really wanting to get this man truly involved in the offense, but, in and out of the lineup and all that, not having a consistent quarterback and having 2 trash offensive coordinators now, Jason Garrett, Freddie Kitchens, y'all know it. So Kadarius Toney, leading receiver, 4 catches, 28 yards, but he was targeted 9 times, most of the team, so we'll give him credit. Kenny Golladay, 3 catches, 22 yards. Devontae Booker, 4 catches, 19 yards. Elijah Penny, 4 catches, 18 yards. And then Evan Ingram, the tight end, 4 catches, 17 yards, and he was the one lone touchdown scorer of the game. So shout out to the tight end University. Y'all know how we love the tight ends over here. All right, and then the Eagles getting it done in the rushing and passing game and defense and all that. We love the team. But Jalen Hurts, 17 of 29, a little bit worse than Mike Glennon. How crazy is that? He only threw 58% completion percentage, but his yards were a little bit on the point, folks. 17 completions for 199 yards. We'll take that all day. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He fumbled once, but didn't lose it. So, all right, solid there. Didn't get it totally done in the red zone, or just scoring in the first half, I should say. Like we said, only 3 points in the first half. Look at these drives, folks. 5 plays, 6 yards. 5 plays, 6 yards. 4 plays, 5 yards. 7 plays, 18 yards. 12 plays, 58 yards. They miss the field goal. They got to the Giants' 23-yard line, and then they hit the field goal, and then it's the end of half, and then that second half happens, and they put up 31 points. So just got to get out to a little bit of a better start here. And this is where we may start to be a little concerned with this Eagles team of getting out to slow starts. This is how the Eagles lose, folks. Getting out to slow starts, turning over the ball in the first half when they're approaching the red zone and all that. So we still love the Eagles, and I still am going to keep them in the Super Bowl contender category, but that is the one thing that could be the Eagles' downfall, getting out to a slow start. But the fact that they put up 34 points basically all in the second half, that's perfect. They flipped the switch, they made the adjustments, and that's a big old green flag for us. All right, rushing attack now. This is where it could get a little unfortunate as well. Miles Sanders, leading rusher, 7 rushes for 45 yards, but running back Miles Sanders broke a bone in his hand yesterday, and he'll have an MRI today, an additional test to determine if there is other damage and whether or not he can play through it. So he left the stadium in a soft cast, and we'll see if Miles Sanders can play through the pain, if there's any big structural damage and all that. And we know this Eagles rushing attack is very, very good. So missing Miles Sanders could truly derail their Super Bowl aspirations, honestly. Boston Scott, though, 12 rushes, 41 yards and a touchdown. And then Jordan Howard, 9 rushes for 37 yards. So I've got no problem, feeling having Boston Scott and Jordan Howard as kind of the running back by committee if Miles Sanders needs some time off here for the Eagles. We are still comfortable with their running back by committee if Miles Sanders is a no-go for the rest of the year. We still believe they can get it done. We still believe the rushing attack can be great, and we still believe this Eagles team can get to the Super Bowl. All right, and then who was Jalen Hurts slinging the ball to? We had Devontae Smith, folks, leading receiver, 5 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown. Shout out to Devontae Smith, folks. That man is absolutely fantastic. Rookie wide receiver, shout out to him. Quez Watkins, 3 catches, 43 yards. Dallas Goedert, 2 catches, 28 yards. Jordan Howard, 2 catches, 19 yards. And then Jalen Reagor, 2 catches for 15 yards. So the Eagles get it done. They beat the Giants. They get the revenge on the division rivals. They get the win at home, get into the playoffs as of now, control their own destiny, all that. Shout out to the Eagles, shout out to Nick Sirianni, shout out to Jalen Hurts, and shout out to that Eagles defense absolutely getting it done. So Eagles get the big old win, 34-10 over the Giants.